to Marijuana, Compassion, and Common Sense, the TV show. We're here to tell you the truth about marijuana, reveal the politics behind its prohibition, gives you the facts and information about its legendary health and medical benefits, and try to clear up all that legal mumbo jumbo out there that makes it so difficult, so dangerous, and nearly impossible to avail yourself of this ancient medicinal herb. Good evening, my name's Lanny Swerdlow. I'm a registered nurse, and I'm the host of your show here tonight. And, you know, if you've never seen this show before, we've been on here on cable access in the Coachella Valley in the high desert for several years. The show's always changing, and we've got this new format now, kind of more like a Tonight Show, where I kind of do a little intro talking with you, and then we have a performer come on, then we have some guests on you get to hear about, and then we end the show. It's going to be an interesting 30 minutes, so stick around. Do want to talk about a few things as we get going here. First, you know, as you get a pencil and paper, and a pencil. Who uses pencils anymore? Get a pen and paper or your iPad, right? And you're going to get phone numbers and websites during the show and dates and events and this kind of stuff. You want to go to write them down because you're not going to be remembering them at all. So write them down and be able to. So go out. You know, it's okay to leave right now for a few seconds and get that pen and paper and come on back. Because one of the things I want to tell you about is if you want information, one of the best ways to get information about what's going on here in the Inland Empire, and the Coachella Valley is certainly part of the Inland Empire, is to check out our website at marijuananews.org. It's got information about everything that's happening here. It's got links to all kinds of good things, and it's important because you can find events going on right here in the Inland Empire that you can attend and you can get involved in. And that's what this show is really about. We want to educate you, but we want to activate you so you get out and get involved, because the only way we're going to make the world safe for cannabis again is when you get involved and get active. So we have another way. If you want to know about our meetings, you can call 760-799-2055. There's a 1-minute recorded information there about our upcoming meetings, so you can always get our meetings by calling 760-799-2055. And then the other way, of course, the best way, is to subscribe to my free email newsletter. That comes out once or twice a week. It's always got information about what's going on here in the Inland Empire, in the state, and in the world. We try to explain it to you in such a way that you actually can understand this nonsense that is going on in this country over marijuana and medical marijuana. It's just unbelievable. You know, I can't help but thinking that, especially in regards to the medical marijuana, that you remember how you see these scenes in Star Trek where Dr. McCoy is operating on somebody or something, and he talks about, oh my God, this old medicine, they were barbarians. And I can't help but thinking that hopefully in not too distant future, doctors are going to look back here and say at this period of time, oh my gosh, what were they thinking, making these people, denying them this natural medicine and instead giving them all these prescription pharmaceuticals. What were they? Oh my gosh, they were barbarians, right? Well, hopefully that's going to happen. But one of the things that, let's talk about a few things that are, oh yes, and that is get my newsletter. How do you get my newsletter? Go to the website, marijuananews.org. Halfway down on the homepage, you'll see a box where you can put your email address. It says "Gets Lanny's free newsletter." Put your email address in there. Click on subscribe, and you'll start getting it, and you'll stay informed. And one of the things I want to inform you about is something that happened very recently in New Hampshire. I didn't realize this, but New Hampshire passed a voter initiative that allows for jury nullification. Now, if you don't know what jury nullification is, that's where the jurors just think the law is stupid in the first place. They don't have to convict. They can find you not guilty. Even if you are guilty of what the law says you can't do, if they don't like the law, they can find you not guilty. And of course, judges always rail against this, and they won't allow jury nullification to be presented before a jury and this kind of stuff. But in New Hampshire, they went around the thing there and got a law where they allow judges the judge says that jurors have a right to take it upon yourselves to judge of both and to determine the law as well as the fact and controversy. So anyway, so now juries can do it. And the first time it was used, it was in a marijuana case. Apparently, there was this guy named Daryl who was a Rastafarian piano tuner. I think that's an interesting combination. He's a piano tuner. He's also a Rastafarian. And he had been married for almost 4 decades, was arrested after a National Guard helicopter spotted some marijuana plants on his property in Barnstead. State prosecutors charged him with cultivation, a felony that would have carried up to 7 years in prison. Well, his lawyer argued that this guy really didn't do anything wrong. And the jury agreed and found him not guilty, even though there was no doubt that he was guilty of marijuana cultivation. So, you know, I hadn't thought about this, but you know, I can't see, there's so many people that would love to see a jury nullification law. Why can't we, and I'm sure there's a lot of rich people that would love to see that, why can't we raise the money in states and get an initiative on the ballot, just like they did in New Hampshire for a jury nullification law? I think most people think it makes sense. If a jury thinks the law shouldn't be applied to this person, that it's stupid and beyond belief, then they should be able to do that. Okay, so it's time for a little entertainment, so you don't have to keep listening to me, although I had all these other great things to talk about. I'll talk about on future shows. So be sure and tune in shows, because I got things about Oliver Stone and the DA's race in Los Angeles, all kinds of fun stuff. But right now we got some real fun stuff because we have a singer. He's a stoner rapper. He is always featured. If you pick up High Times magazine and you turn to this page that says the top Pot 40, this person has been listed in there every single issue for several years now, I would guess. So let's welcome here on the Marijuana, Compassion, and Common Sense TV stage, STEM.
Yeah, hey, what's up? Smoking token. Yeah. One time. Yo, I'm back at the scene, smoking that degrees. You all know me, the S to the T, E to the N with the UHS. Back with this, the wicked head. Stoned up rap is what I do best. Talking the dank, taking the bang. B-O-N-G right next to me. Smoking the dank with the hashies. Here with this, I keep it real with the lines that I spit. Yo, I'm coming into a big show, another level to begin with. Yo, you can come in with this, stay with the spin, risk your life on there. Living a hell bad best, try to get me last. Cricket back, yo, living in pain. Yo, been with this, yo, clever forward rhymes that I spit. Yo, rather lines as a crib hill, yeah. Enjoy the joint split with the hash and the twine up in it. Whole night in like the pills on the trash, man. Untold, there's a story on the board. I never get it over, but trouble life fine. Why no better, you can read it, man. Ringing in the new year with this diarrhea. Hats that I spit, yo, we talking on me. Coming to this, on the edge. All about time, know that I must. All about time, know that I'll jump to another level without I trust. Yeah, rock, yo, cause I come with your mind. Drug addict of the worst time, you'll be coming in, going every day. And the time you'll be back in the streets with the new release. You'll be with the underground. See no, be obscurity. Come alive, that eternity. All about time, gotta really know the rhyme. Step of the name unknown, but the soul is the being like this. Hands down your reeds, there's a lot that, and you know what I mean. I'm talking the weed and the blaze in the grass. Gotta really know that I'm smoking the hash. Don't stop back when I smoke the dead. Gotta really know, cause that's how it is. Breathe a lot this, yo, every day. Smoking nothing but the really good bin. Living like this, yo, hypocrisy. Taking all this around me, yo. Smoking the weed and the blaze in the house. Coming like that, then you know that. Then you're still in the hood of the no good. All about time, then you gotta shoot, yo. In the spotlight as I drop a line. Coming like that, like Mr. Saturday. Not really tight, but now I got the mic. Gotta really be side behind the mic. Really with the bomb, with the pop like this. See it like this, that's how it is. Good fella, yeah, you are. I got a risk. Coming like this when I say in. Talking the wind, then it's all about time. Gotta really know, cause I get mine, yo. Every day, we got the headaches. Living with the pain, yo, what can I say, yo? Sparking up again, then you, I gotta see this for real and what up, man? Smoking token. Look for the video. Yeah.
Yeah, we have several videos.
And what, are they on the internet?
Oh yeah, you can find all our music videos at UHSRecords.com. We have first videos were aired on Mark Emery's Pop TV and Cannabis Cultures, they're the little thing. But now YouTube's taken over. We have all kinds of current stuff going on.
And it's real stoner rap.
Yeah, we actually have the first video, Vengeance Rhyme. It's a little more streetish, but it's still, we related a lot. It's on YouTube right now. And it's on the website, and right now Smoking Token is currently in filming, going to be wrapping up production the next couple days at a grower's house.
At a grower's house?
Yeah, we're using really big plants. The grower did a really good job. Grower's also a good friend of mine and everything.
So you not only get a good stoner rap, you see an excellent grow.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you.
All right.
I can leave.
You know, the marijuana movement is often being called or being criticized, being male-dominated. We don't have enough women in the movement. Well, right here in the Inland Empire, we have an organization called Californians for Local and Safe Alternatives, and it's headed by two women. Unfortunately, one of them couldn't be here tonight, but one of the women who did found the organization is here. That's Melissa Watson, and she's accompanied by one of their newest members, Burl Dean Andrews. Come on up, folks. Melissa and Burl Dean, thank you for joining us here. You know, when I did this introduction, I talked about the paucity of women in the movement. It's really true. What's it like? I mean, I don't know what it's like. What's it like to be a woman in the marijuana movement? I mean, it's a male-dominated industry.
It is a male-dominated industry. You walk into businesses that distribute medication, and mostly they're run by men, and they don't have the same views that we have. They're part of their own good old boys club, and to have a woman come in and give them ideas is kind of unusual.
Maybe that's the problem. You know, marijuana collectors have gotten kind of a bad rap. It's not all their fault by a large measure. But you know, maybe if women were running these places, we wouldn't be having so much problems. But what's interesting is that what you're doing, and you've become a member, is Californians for Local and Safe Alternatives is trying to organize collective owners and make them into these responsible people that they would be if it was women running the collective. Tell us how you're doing.
I'm not necessarily saying that they're not responsible, just that their ideas are a little bit different. And to bridge the gap from bringing this industry out of the streets and into mainstream society has been very hard. It's still very taboo, and it has not been viewed very well. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get some of these operators together in an organized manner and sit down and amicably work this out with our government so that we can have safe regulations and a way for our patients to get their medication within their county.
Yeah, this is what I've always criticized the collective operators because they've never got together. You know, like dry cleaners have a trade association, the California Cleaners Association. They all pay dues to it, and they support it, and they send lobbyists up to Sacramento. You know, collective operators don't have the IQ level of a dry cleaner, and because they can't seem to get it together. How is your reception? Are you getting them to work with you? What's your
It's been a bit difficult. It's been like herding cats. We had our first meeting in December. We called it the Screwed Over Screwed Operators meeting at SoCo, and we had a big turnout. We had a lot of very upset people in the industry who said that they just were not getting the response from our government that they needed, and there had been rallies done, and there had been sit-ins done, and there had been letters written, and what more could they do? And instead of doing it individually, we came up with the idea of doing it collectively and trying to do it from one small area just wasn't working, so we turned that small area into a very large area and combined all of the Inland Empire together. And we're still reaching out to collective operators and still trying to get them on board, still trying to get patients activated let them know that it's by using their patient base, that's how they're going to get to our legislators.
And Geraldine, you joined, why did you become part of CLSA?
Well, my collective, my local collective is probably pretty well known by now, but I had just missed 15 minutes of being thrown on the ground, handcuffed, and had an AK-47 pointed at my head. And I realized that I was probably pretty lucky, but not as lucky as the other patients that were laying on the ground handcuffed. And that appalled me. So I got involved.
Why don't you tell us? Yeah.
It was with G3. It's a G3. It's with Aaron Sandusky.
Yeah.
He is one of my heroes. He chose to stay open many times, even though he was forced to close. But he chose that for me. And he chose to help those patients that needed his help.
What's interesting, of course, is Aaron Sandusky has always been supportive of CLSA from the very beginning,
Yes.
unlike so many others. And it's really sad what's happening to Aaron.
It's scary. It's scary. It's almost like we're going back in time instead of forward.
I don't think it's because he was active with us is why this happened. But it doesn't. In a way, it sends a chilling message out. Do you ever get that from people you talk to? Well, I'm afraid to get involved because it'll call attention to me, and the cops will come after me.
Yes, we do. We hear that quite often. You know, a lot of people use what they hear through the rumor mill and through the newspapers and, you know, multimedia and stuff. We hear that a lot, you know.
And the scare tactics.
And the thing is, you know, it's probably not that likely, but you know, it's not totally impossible because we have known where the government has gone after people in retaliation for doing something the government didn't like. It happens all the time, so it's not an irrational fear. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you, right? So, yeah. But you know, the CLSA has done some other public outreach work, education public. Want to tell us about some of the things you're doing and say some things you got planned?
Sure. We organized a bus trip to Sacramento in May of this year. We took 38 people with us, 38 patients, to Sacramento to try and help lobby to get safer regulations and something in place down here in the Inland Empire. And it seemed to make a difference. It got a momentum going, and it got more people involved down here, more collectives involved with us, and wanting to reach out and do more, which is a good thing. And that network is just growing. You know, it's getting bigger by the minute. And the events that are coming up currently are fundraiser events, but they're also ways of getting people involved and seeing what we do. You know, we have to raise the funds to keep this going, to get the materials out there, to, you know, to do the videotapes, to just to you know, drive our cars over to the other collectives to get them out there. You know,
it costs
money, to do this, and so we have to raise the funds somewhere. So we're trying to do this in a fun way, but these funds also go to directly help with cannabis research.
Don't the collective operators give you $25 a month?
No, we.
Have you asked for that?
No.
I mean, there's not a collective out there that couldn't afford to give you a lousy $25 a month.
Right, we run the same way the collective, so we run on a donation basis, and the ones that seem to be donating to the cause right now are the ones who are needing the most help, and they don't have any money to donate to the cause, and they don't have any money for themselves, and so they themselves are having to be out there and fundraise for us.
I am shocked. Well, you gotta do something like they give a certificate. I don't know the answers. That's just nuts. There's not a collective out there that couldn't shovel out $25. Yes, it is a great idea. Thank you. But that's what the dry cleaners do. They pay $25 a month to the association, and they got people working for them on their behalf. Nobody's going to work for them on their behalf very successfully for free. What do they expect? Anyway. Listen, if people would like some more information, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, there's several ways. We ourselves have a newsletter out there. Actually, can I use this because this has it all on there really good. But we have an email you can write to us at writetoclsa.com. And then write to CLSA@gmail.com. And then we also have a newsletter out there. It is the Inland Empire CLSA.org. And you can reach us at our names at inlandempireclsa.org. But then there's other ways to reach us too. Through our fundraisers, there's the Can Golf Tournament coming up. We also have the games,
we have
the
the
solidarity.
summit coming at the end of the month.
Right.
We have another
garden
summit
coming up.
And that will help with, we're going to have attorneys, and we're going to have officers, and we're going to have people to help educate you as to what you can and cannot do to make it easier for you when you do get into a problem. And this golf tournament that's coming up is November 3rd, and it's really important because it's going to help our cannabis warriors to help pay their legal fees, as well as help some of the people who can't afford their day-to-day meds. And we are going to be donating to a cancer project in the area. We're having a bit of a problem with finding somebody who wants to associate themselves with the cannabis world, even though we're willing to give them charity to their work. So we're working on that right now. We're hoping to connect up with a children's group in LA and seeing our charity and our donations go to work in our towns.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's so empowering to have women taking control of this movement. We are way better off for it. Just like I said earlier, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for letting us be here.
To Marijuana, Compassion, and Common Sense, the TV show. It's Marijuana, Compassion, and Common Sense, the radio show. And it's on every Monday at 6 o'clock on Inland Empire Talk radio station, KCAA 1050 AM. If you don't live in the Inland Empire or you can't get to an AM radio, does everybody have AM radio still?
Sure.
You can hear it on the internet at kcaaradio.com. And if you listen on the internet, you can also go to KCA TV. You can actually see us in the studios. I'm there with Uncle Ronnie and Collie Smith. We sometimes have guests coming in there and joining us. It's a fun show. We always have guests calling in. We've had people like Dennis Perone and Dale Geringer and presidential candidate Gary Johnson. You never know who's going to be on. In fact, we've had Steve Davis, who was Mr. Universe of 1977. So you never know who you're going to hear on the show. So tune on in every Monday at 6 o'clock. Marijuana, Compassion, and Common Sense, the radio show, KCAA 1050 AM, and on the internet at kcaaradio.com. On an up note, and I want to give you a quote from Oliver's newest film, Savages. Here's what he said in a recent interview about marijuana. Quote, "The best weed in the world is here in California. I've been doing it for 40 years, as you know, and there's no better stuff than here. Okay, whether it's Afghanistan, Vietnam, Jamaica, South Sudan, I know, I've been to all those places." End quote. So, be glad you're living here in California where you have the best weed in the world, and let's get out there and do the work to protect it so we can continue to have the best weed in the world right here in the state of California. And now to wrap up the show, we're going to bring our medical marijuana troubadour here to wrap it up. Come on in, Rory Murray.
Hello, everybody. I want to let you know about a protest that's going on at Ace Hardware in Long Beach. The owner, Trent Barnes, has waged war against cannabis patients and a collective across the street. Here's a little song I wrote about it. Won't you wise up, Ace Hardware? Won't you wise up? Long Beach has done you wrong. They're selling lies and hatred. They're even duping children just 'cause I use a bong. Remember last Friday evening? We lined the streets, 100 cannabis patients strong. Trent Barnes, you're a disgrace. You're Ace a hateful place. We're angry and the boycott's on. Thank you.